Hi, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you don't know me, my name is Bianca and I make self-development videos for ambitious, disciplined, and athletic women. So basically people like me. I want us to find each other, to help each other out in this self-development journey and really push us to reach our full potential. So I decided to make a video today for that type of person that doesn't know their passion. Because for a long time, I really struggled working on myself and working towards where I wanted to go without feeling passionate about something. So this is where my unique story comes in. I'm a professional soccer player right now. And a lot of people assume that if you are a professional athlete, you must be passionate about your sport. But that is not the case for me. For some reason, I grew up playing soccer and I ended up making better teams each year. And then I went to college at West Virginia University. It's a D1 school, did really well there, got drafted, became a pro, and now I play soccer for a living. And you would think that that's my passion. If I did it from the first day I could play until now, I would actually be passionate about it. But for me, it never felt like a passion. It felt like I was really good at it and that I liked training, but I didn't really feel like I was eat, sleep, soccer, repeat type of thing. So there was always a part of me that felt like soccer was not enough, that it was good for my fulfillment, but that I was meant for something more. And that kind of brought me on this personal development journey because I wanted to discover what my passion is. And I realized that the reason why soccer has never been my passion was because I felt like I wasn't helping anyone. I feel like a passion is also something that feels greater than you, that feels that it can impact others. And I know that soccer can, but I do not associate with soccer being my full identity. I realize that it's so important to develop outside of your sport. And I don't want to give the message to young kids that you need to be passionate about soccer. If anything, I want to give the passion to kids that you can become passionate about self-fulfillment, about reaching your potential, about pushing your limits, about reaching goals. And I realized that that was my passion for so long. I was passionate about hard work. I was passionate about pushing myself to my limit. I was passionate about reaching my full potential, basically. But it still doesn't feel like that's something that's super tangible, or it doesn't feel like it's something that I can really grasp my hand on. Like, what does reaching your potential mean? What does it mean to be passionate about that? So if you're someone like me that really struggled to figure out what your passion is, but feels ambitious and has big dreams or big aspirations that wants to be successful, here's my suggestion of what you should do. When you have free time, commit to learning. I'm going to actually give you this passion. Become passionate about learning, about growing, about nurturing your mind, about knowing yourself and developing yourself and understanding yourself. You need to start studying everything around you, yourself, your environment, the people around you. Ask yourself why. Be curious about things. Just be passionate about learning. Because the moment you start learning and discovering new things and new perspectives, that will start putting a new seed in your brain, and eventually it will connect the dots. One day I heard this quote: "Passions are formed, not found." For so long I felt like I had to find this mystery box in my head where it would be the ultimate passion that I was looking for. But once I understand that you create your passion. Only a few people are born with an inherent passion for something. But even the people that you think they're passionate about something, it's something that they've created over time. Like Einstein, for example, he wasn't necessarily passionate about what he did. If you look at his story, he had a whole baggage of his story that led from one thing to another. He tried different things. He was curious about different things. And eventually it brought him to be one of the greatest scientists of all time. But that's how you have to treat your own life, is to be curious about the journey, be kind of passionate about learning and self-discovery as well. Today, I am more passionate about things in my life than I have ever been before. I have developed passions for myself that I never knew even existed or even considered growing up. It's so funny because I realized that by knowing myself that I was really always passionate about impacting others, having a positive influence on people. I always felt like I was meant to inspire others to reach their potential as well, because that was something I really loved for myself, but I loved it so much that I wanted others to do the same thing. But by going on this search of learning, I realized that by asking myself better questions, it brought me to new passions. For example, I am obsessed with entrepreneurship, and never in my life growing up have I thought about entrepreneurship ever. It never occurred to me. I actually wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to work a job. I actually loved work. I loved the aspect of having a schedule, to putting my effort into something and to be on time and deadlines and all that. I used to love that stuff, and I still kind of do. But that entrepreneurship where you get that creativity, that freedom out of it, that is something that I'm extremely passionate about. But it didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't come like the day I heard about entrepreneurship, I was passionate. I started learning about how to make money, how to invest, how do people get rich. And then I was like, wait a minute. There's a different path for me that I didn't even know existed. And that only happened because I started asking better questions. But then the next question is like, what type of products do you sell? What type of service do you have? How do you have a good team? And all that dynamic is so exciting for me because I'm like, okay, I can actually create something that will actually have an impact on other people's lives. And I became extremely passionate about that. And yes, I still love being a professional soccer player. I still put a lot of time of my life into bettering myself as an athlete. But I realized that I am more than an athlete. There's so much more I can offer, and there's so many more people I can reach. And that starts simply by cultivating the practice to dedicating yourself to growth every single day, to commit to learning, to try and learn different things that are outside of your normal paradigm, that are outside of your normal perspectives that you usually have. You have to think outside of the box. You have to question every single belief you have about yourself and the world around you. This takes a lot of courage to do that. But I know that if you're ambitious and you want to really push yourself, you're willing to be stepping out of your comfort zone and you have a growth mindset. You know that you can only get better if you start to think differently. So if you're wondering what you should start learning about, the first thing I would suggest you doing is honestly learning about philosophy. I started getting into psychology, philosophy, and spirituality. All of those three topics together really helped me gain a new perspective of life. And philosophy is just really good because not only it allows you to think differently, but it helps you understand arguments, which is basically a lot of the way that we speak in today's world. Is we're always kind of doing mini arguments for ourselves or for others, but to understand how arguments function is a huge aspect of philosophy, and also creativity. So if you learn about philosophy, you learn to think differently and more creatively, and that will also help you on the journey to think outside of the box and to see different opportunities. So start studying philosophy and then start being curious about your spirituality and also the psychology of yourself, of other people, of relationships in general. I think those are three great topics to start. But if you want to go a little bit more simpler, just write down in a notebook all the questions that you have. For example, I alluded earlier that I had the question, like, how do people get rich? Like, what is the actual path to wealth? And I had a bunch of questions about that. I also had a bunch of questions about relationships, like how do people choose their perfect partner? What is it like to be a good mother? Like what makes a good mother? Like just start asking questions like that. Once you have that all written down in a book, you can start exploring those questions one by one and just feed your curiosity. Being curious is one of the greatest gifts you can have or cultivate. And then if you want to be extremely successful in life, realize that you need to know yourself in and out. You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Your weaknesses are okay to know because you always want to refine them so you can evolve. But your strength, You have to know what is your specific strength and become exceptional at that, because people reward exceptionality. I don't know if that's a word, but if you are exceptional, you will be rewarded that way. If you become the best at something, you will be rewarded. And just use your strength as a starting point. Figure out what is some of your strength and learn to leverage that. And then finally, you need to realize that you need to get rid of all the distractions you don't need. If you have a boyfriend you know you're not gonna stay with, dump him. If you have friends that are not aligned with that future life that you want for yourself, don't hang out with those friends anymore. All those mini distractions add up and they hold you back from you reaching your potential. So what I did for myself is I realized that if whatever I was doing was not getting me closer to my dream life, I was taking it out of my life. Even the hardest decisions, like my ex or people to hang out with, like those, when you cut people out of your life, it can be really hard, but those are things that you do not need if you want to be that higher version of yourself. Obviously, if they are supportive and they're helping you achieve your goals, keep them around you. Like, you want to keep those relationships and nurture that. But a lot of times we hold on to things that are so toxic just because it feels comfortable. But success is uncomfortable. It is going to be uncomfortable to reach your dream. If it was comfortable, everybody would be there right now, right? So accept that you're going to have to be uncomfortable and you're going to have to make big decisions for you to get closer to your dream. So my goal here is to really create this community of people like-minded, like me and you, that we come in together, that we push each other, that we support each other, that we teach each other what we learn, and we help each other not make the mistake that someone else has. So right now, you clicked on this video because you do not have a passion, but you are ambitious and you want to make an impact on the world. Well, if you don't have a passion, go create it. Create it because you're created by learning, created by committing yourself to growing every single day, by asking questions, by doing things differently. You're not going to change if you don't do things differently. So do that right now. Just start and commit to growth. That's it. I hope you found this video valuable. I hope you want to follow along. I hope you want to be a part of this community I'm trying to build. We're going to go places together, and that's what's the most important. I don't want to be alone in this. I want to bring people so we are all in this together. There is an abundance of success available for all of us. There's not a shortage of success that is going to be given. We can all achieve success, and we're going to get there faster if we're there together. Okay, so let's create this community. We'll have each other, we'll have each other's backs, and I'm just so excited for the future ahead of us. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the video very, very soon. Mwah.